Y'all say what's up to Theresa number one.
Hello, Theresa number one.
Theresa.
Hello.
Y'all say what up to Theresa number two.
Hi, Theresa number two.
Hey.
Okay, one of these two Theresas is the real Theresa Mellas, who rode her bike from Oregon all the way to New York City.
Woo!
All right, and there's more to the story, but I'll let y'all figure this out. Denise, start us off.
Oh, this is tough. Theresa number one, how long did it take you to go from Oregon to New York City?
It took 32 days of riding my bike. I did take a couple stops, so the total number of days, stops hiked in Jackson Hole and visited with a friend in Boise. So the total number of days was 37, but 32 days of biking.
And Theresa number two, you're older than 12?
Ryan!
Sounds like a kid.
Although I don't look it.
Okay. Theresa number one, back to you. How long did it take you to go from Oregon to New York City on your bike?
You say 40 days, but I took off. I made like Sunday my day off. I would get up and eat like a monster breakfast. I would meet someone in a small town, and they'd be like, you know what, go stay in my barn. So Sunday was like my take a nap outside day all day and eat as much as humanly possible to power up.
So, Theresa, you did this solo?
Number one. Number one, yeah.
Sorry.
Were you solo?
Yeah, I was. I mean, there was adorable, like, little kids along the way. Like, if their families helped me out along the way, they would be like, we're going to ride a couple miles with you. So it tended to start off a little slow some mornings, but just a couple little kids. But no, I did it all by myself.
Theresa number two, did you do this ride by yourself? Were you solo?
Yep, I was solo the whole way. At one point, my parents drove in and met me for a day just to kind of like ride a couple hours here and there with me. But no, the whole trip was solo.
Were your parents worried, Theresa number two, were your parents worried that you were riding your bicycle across the U.S.?
You know what? Nah, I mean, if I say no, it makes my parents sound, like they don't care. But of course, they were worried about their daughter. But at the same time, they kind of know me, and this wasn't something too far-fetched that I would do, and they know that I've got a good head on my shoulders and can look out for myself.
Okay.
Theresa number one, what kind of bike did you ride?
Good, that was my question.
Great question.
Nice.
When I landed, I did not have a bicycle. So I was just looking through Craigslist, honestly, to find someone. So I had found a man who he would race from the whole west side, the whole coast, San Diego all the way up north. And he had a bunch of different types, but I got a Schwinn. It was Speed Racer.
You guys want to ask Theresa number two the same question?
Yes.
Theresa number two?
Theresa number two, what kind of bike did you ride?
I ended up, I flew to Portland without a bike, and I found one that I was selling on Craigslist. And it was his wife's bike. It was a specialized gravel bike. And I kind of did a little bit of research beforehand. I knew that I needed something a little bit stronger than just a road bike for the weight of the panniers, the bags that you put on the back. So I knew I wanted a gravel bike, and I just so happened to find that bike in my size, and it was like, it could not have worked out any better.
And Theresa number two, you said something earlier about like your parents, like how this wasn't so far-fetched from anything that you've done in the past. What's another one of your craziest experiences you've had?
Nice.
I don't have a problem doing trips solo. I impetuously also bought a ticket maybe 2 years ago now at the last second and flew to Nepal and hiked Everest Base Camp by myself. Whoa. So this was not quite as far-fetched.
Theresa number one, what was the hardest thing about your travel? What was the hardest thing about your journey?
That's a good question.
I would say there was some time that was really quiet, really silent, and I had to just be alone with my own mind. So sometimes that's really healing and beautiful, but sometimes it's a little lonely.
With that, you guys got all your questions? Are you guys good? We got to decide. You guys have to deliberate right now and tell me who the real Theresa Mellas is, who rode her bike from Oregon all the way to New York City.
Okay.
I left out the important question for Theresa number two about the time of the year she did it.
That's true.
Ask her. Theresa number two, what time of the year did you take this trip?
It was from June 9th to July 7th, or July 15th.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Denise just wrote that down. She thinks she's doing some math in her head. Nope, it's on her fingers.
Oh, you
All
get
right.
technical.
Okay.
Now you two
Makes
get
sense.
to...
Well, at first I thought it was Theresa number one, but then when it came to asking about the bike, she mentions a Schwinn that she got from some guy or something like that.
On Craigslist.
So I was like, okay, cool. And then Theresa number two said that she actually got a gravel bike, and one thing that popped out was she also got bags for the bike, so she could hook up her bags. So that
Okay.
kind of sold me back to Theresa number two.
Okay.
And then she also does solo trips, went to Nepal.
Climbed Everest. Is that believable?
Well, I mean, the camp. Yeah.
camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and then going Oregon to New York City, yeah, you can definitely do all of that.
Okay.
The dates sound about right.
All right, I love y'all, but we don't have all morning. I'm going to have to ask for the final answer.
Oh my
Who
gosh.
is the real Theresa Mellas?
Who do you think?
Teresa number two.
Number two?
Number two.
I'm going to have to agree.
Teresa number two, are you in fact the real Theresa Mellas who rode her bike from Oregon all the way to New York City?
Yes, I am.
That was kind of hard, though.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
What the heck are you going to do next?
Yeah, what's next on the agenda?
What, are you going to swim the Pacific?
Oh.
You know, I if you couldn't tell, I usually don't plan things out far in advance. Things just kind of happen, and I
Radical.
go with the flow. But I have a couple ideas in the works. But right now, I'm enjoying a beautiful Buffalo summer with family. So
I'm sure they're happy to have you back.
Yeah, for sure.
totally.
Wow.
What a story.
Yeah.
What an inspirational story. You are my hero.
Oh man, I'm very humbled by the comments. Thank you. I appreciate it.
There she is, the real
Yes.
Theresa Mellas. Everybody.
Nice.
Yay.